Hey, RimWorlders. So, a quick recap from last episode. We built this, and that's the recap. But in all seriousness, we are just about ready to actually heave-ho move and set up bedrooms here to live here full time. And we're going to need some better security and storage, but we are getting mighty close to being done, which is awesome. The next big thing would be probably turrets, and we do have the research for gun turrets going already. Maker here has been mostly helping out on crafting, making the slate blocks that we need, so I'm going to retask him to turrets for the moment, so that we can get that research done and feel a little bit more secure knowing that we won't, we'll have, a little bit more backup in the fights that might be coming soon. So I think I'm going to try to min-max sort of min-max the windmill situation here. Looks like the cabling is getting in the way, and I'm not sure why you can't just build bridges over waterproof cables. I mean, that's pretty much why the cables even exist. I don't know. I figured this might be some bug that I do not know about that gets patched soon. I just want to remind everyone that I am on, in fact, Unstable 1.0, and the bugs that you see here in no way reflect the way RimWorld will be in its full version. I cannot stress that enough. Ludion wants you all to know the same. Right, so I think Maker is going to be cleaning up and doing research. There is plenty of filth around our mini little base, and it would be a real shame if all of our hard work of making it look nice was all for naught if we just let everything go the way of ugliness. Okay, that was a lot of rambling, but basically I want to make it look nicer. So we got the sort of layout for one of the rooms, and we're working on the layout for some of the other ones. Unfortunately, there are a lot of random marshy areas that make it somewhat difficult to build on. That's pretty much the reason why I picked this biome, but that added extra challenge we'll have to just overcome. So Maker here, I'm going to have him prioritize crafting. We need some more slate blocks. We're just about done with one of the bedrooms, and for me to finish it off, we should have a little slate block action here. They're all having mood problems, mostly due to the fact that I harvested organs for Maker's lungs, so he no longer has asthma. I don't think that's the way asthma works, but whatever the case may be, he is now asthma-free, which is great, because he had a bunch of penalties to his, to everything, really. And now he doesn't, so that's pretty awesome. So I figure if I put a windmill here, is this how? Okay, so power conduits can go on bridges, but not under. Okay, I see. I now understand the nuance involved. So I have Maker cranking out some blocks. Wally, he's working on the walls, which is nice. I think I'm gonna prioritize this bedroom first. And we have a proper bedroom. Doesn't have much in it, but we are actually starting to move over, which counts for something Kartha is done with his hunting, I think. We have enough meat for now. And I think what I'm going to do, I have to figure out where I'm going to put general storage. Oh, I guess there was one more ibex. Just butcher him now. Save yourself a trip. So these organ harvesting, yeah, we're going to get over those pretty soon. Just swell. They're all playing horseshoe. We do, of course, need a rec room up here, which might go here. Everything requires a lot of work. This isn't quite as bad as like a tropical rainforest swamp, like the tropical swamps, but it does require a lot of work to make things sort of buildable. There's a lot of stuff in the way. And then what we can do is let the wilds reclaim our last base, as we are no longer going to need a base here. So slowly disassemble it, and we can just leave the limestone in place because we're not really looking to replace that limestone. So, Pantheon Guardian cooked up a pretty cool idea about how to harvest trees. I think I need to research tree sowing first. So I'm gonna wait a little bit to do that, but I'm gonna use his method rather than individually select clicking. A lot of people have been pointing out, oh, why don't you just, you know, chop like this? And the problem I have with that, it works, but the problem I have with that is it cuts down trees that aren't full grown. And I'd rather wait for everything to be full grown, because you just get more wood, more bang for your buck. So the solution is pretty clever, which is to set up a non-sowing grow zone for trees, and it will treat all the trees in the grow zone like ones you've sown into a farm, and as a result it will only chop the fully mature ones, which is the behavior I'm looking for. So I am definitely looking forward to implementing that. I think at this point we're probably good on slate blocks, so once we're done with this batch, I'm gonna go ahead and stop them and tidy up. We do want Maker to crank out at least one more bolt action rifle. And I'm gonna go ahead and move Maker's bed. You know, actually, his bed kind of sucks, so I'm gonna attempt to make a higher quality bed. Let's go ahead and do just that. That's normal. Oh well. See if we can't get a good one. Because there's plenty of trees around, hence the, you know, from the, there we go. From the fact that we live in a swamp. Ooh, a small herd of one, of Thrumbo, passing through. So if I go ahead and reinstall that there, and we're done with the bolt action rifles. So Wally can ditch his shotgun for it. I'm just gonna have him ditch his shotgun here, because It's not inside yet, but it will be soon. Haul that out. Extract that. Work on that. There we go. So I think Maker's already... Oh, he's playing horseshoes. Let's set this to Maker. So Maker will have a nice bedroom. Maybe set it up with a roof. And the reason I am not going for Thrumbo just yet, I don't think our team could make it out alive, is the shortest answer to that. Oh, Kartha, you are running away from Rat. Pretty small target. Bye-bye, Mr. Rat. We have no need for your harassment. But we'll use you for meat. Alright, Kartha's going for a walk. The last bedroom will go here. That will be pretty easy to do. Then we're going to need bridges here. Oh, for a second I thought the rat won that fight. I generally don't like predators hanging around my bases. So if they're already injured, opportunistically I'll go ahead and cut them down. It's much safer to fight an injured animal. Alright, so we will go ahead and deconstruct all that. And remove the floors as well. Kartha, you will cut down a few more trees. For a bed. Hopefully I get a good one. If you're a new player, which I doubt you are, because I think people that watch my videos are experienced, or at least the ones that leave comments are. You guys know what you're doing. But bed quality is enormous. It helps you heal, it helps you rest, you spend less time sleeping. Having a high quality bed, and I guess this is somewhat applicable to real life too, to be honest, is exceptionally important. So don't neglect your beds. And that's probably a message that you can extrapolate out to real life. So what I'm doing here is creating a dock so that I can wall off my farm and yet still have a path around it. And I think I'll put down slate tile. It takes much longer to put down, but it's prettier, I guess. Oh, looks like we've got some bridges that are needed there. And that way we can wall off our grow zone. Gonna wake Kartha up. He never really finished that bed that I wanted him to make, so I'm just gonna force it. Forcing it in the dark. Who's this? Wally needs this one. And then all that gets destroyed. And this, we'll have to add storage space. I think what I'll do is have somewhat of a trade beacon. You know, this area is probably pretty good for a trade beacon because it's flat, doesn't have swamp. I have to create a bridge to enter this area. It's important to keep your stuff from spoiling. I don't really truly need auto doors. Like in the internals of the base, we could have gone with just wooden doors or something, or even stone doors we keep open. So I think actually I'm going to destroy these auto doors, just because we have to keep it powered, and that doesn't make much sense. At this point, I think it's a little too late to sow. We maybe have one more grow season, but whatever's in the ground is fine. I think I'm done putting additional resources, because after all, it is your time and human effort. Alright, so Maker is finishing up gun turrets. Wally should be constructing the bridge pieces, and then we'll work on a rec room and storage. Having a fully operational base will be nice. This should be Wally's. Man, that Thrumbo has really stuck around a bit. Another thing I'm going to do is, now that we're done with this, I'm going to temporarily put components here, just because I don't have a proper storage space for them yet. So that we can build out some defenses here. We can also go ahead and build a roof on this, which will be nice. And this will require kind of a lot of resources, which is totally fine as long as it keeps me secure. So we're just going to go ahead and remove these corner pieces. That's probably not the best design, but I'm doing this quickly and not thoroughly. So this will keep snow off the bridge. If we plop an auto door here, all we have to do is extend our power out a little bit. That will keep invaders from using this bridge, even though it is a pretty good kill tunnel. Alright, so we have gun turrets. I think I'm going to put Maker here back on craft, so we'll just unsuspend this. So he'll cook up some more slate. These... Maybe... I don't want to over-engineer this. Maybe it's better if I plan on putting gun turrets here and have our little guys behind it. I think that's what I'm going to do. So it's a slight redesign, a slight waste of our time. But before we wait too long, let's actually cook up... Oh, they're called mini turrets. Let's cook up a steel mini turret. This might require a little bit of metal, steel, so we can queue up some mining with Wally, who is still prioritized to mine. I'll feel a little bit safer knowing that I have... Where are you going with that? Bringing the slate all the way down there? Not what I wanted. We need to get this zone worked out pretty soon, I'd say. Because they're running resources all over the map. Okay, so we are not hauling properly. Gonna retask Wally. He just dropped wood somewhere stupid, but whatever. We want our building materials to... Let's create another temporary stockpile. Here, we'll put... Because I deleted the last one. We had one. But our stone blocks, our wood, our steel here. We'll give this a critical priority. And that way... That way we are keeping the resources we want closer. Local dough wanted to rumble and got rumbled. Alright, so that auto door is not working. We're slating up a lot of stuff. Let's Wally deprioritize construction a little bit so that you go and mine. So we're going to need those wonderful resources of yours. All the steel. Defenses are very steel intensive. I've left our kitchen off a little too long, and as such, we stopped wearing toque. We stopped cooking. So let's change that. Prioritize fine meals first. I was trying not to drain the battery, and as a result, I multitasked. So bridges and wood floors are slightly different color. And you probably can't just put wooden floors over it. Interesting. Today I learned. We're also going to want a rec room. And And nobody has broken down these doors yet, so I'm going to prioritize that right now. We just want normal slate doors. Slate will be good for protection, but we don't need them to be auto doors because we can just leave them open. The only reason to have doors in the first place is to have multiple areas differentiated from one another. But that can happen with doors forced open, as well as doors that are forced closed, so it doesn't really matter. Alright, so it's starting to get cold. Who's starving? Kartha? Jesus. I guess I should let you eat. I've been putting them to work too much. You're also standing in such a way that you're propping the kitchen door open. And we have raids from the people that we want to befriend eventually. So Maker, how close to the base are you? Let's try to get this armor on. Arthur and Wally, get in place. It's not the best cover, but this is decent cover. And they're attacking from this side, which is fine, as long as they don't burn down the watermill generator. Doesn't look like anyone's queued up to attack that. One's already dead. They're getting shredded. And they're already fleeing. I kind of want to try to take them prisoner. Where are you walking to? I don't even know. Alright, he's going to punch us back. Cause a little damage. Kartho, how about you go punch that one? Because we want to ally these guys, and the easiest way is just to take them prisoner, patch them up, release them. And hopefully punching them out will prevent... Perfect. There's one. Which means we will temporarily need a prison. I guess Maker, you can start to capture him. And we punch-killed him. Okay. It's fine. Kartha, you're going to be needed up here in a minute. Tending to Wade. Wade, you will not get anything, but you'll be released. Alright, Kartha, let's patch him up to the best of our ability. We're mining some additional steel to be implemented in this turret. The pawns are getting increasingly silly looking. We'll try not to judge. They're all changing into toques and whatnot. Alright, let's get rid of this gear. This is not going to protect you very well from the cold. We'll have to put a better toque on you. And getting to release him. But I'll have Kartha be the only warden. Alright, so just one more prisoner. It's too bad we killed the other one. Just one more prisoner and we'd be all set. There are some peace stock options, but now that we're heading into the winter, those are probably not. It's probably not the right season to go about doing that. So I'm gonna hold off. Because we don't really have a decent stockpile, I'm just gonna make this a general stockpile and get rid of this one so we can formally move out of this area. We don't, I don't want them hauling anything down here anymore. Just the opposite, in fact. So it looks like just over time there's relationship decay, which encourages you to regularly pursue diplomatic sort of relations with, with whomever. Just checking up on them, making sure they're all working towards the same goal. Karth is almost done cooking. I might take Wally off of mining for a time so that we go back to construction. That's another reason not to have the auto doors, is they break down a lot. And I don't have a heck of a lot of components to be able to continually replace them. Alright, Maker. That's enough crafting for now. Do a little tidy-tidy. And let's just make sure our home zone is something sensible, which it wasn't quite. Still have to work on that. Yeah, there's not enough time on those peace talks to get much done. Eager for this rec room. Oh, let's get rid of that bed. This rec room to be done. Playing chess in the dark. Maker's tidying up. This is the last rice harvest. Queuing up the last of the walls. Which is looking good. And you can see the leaves are starting to change. Down here, I'm going to clear this home zone and remove the roof. I don't have quite enough food security to start making lavish meals, but that might be something I can do in the near future. I also should probably queue up some additional research. Oh, and we have some bulk goods. That'll be handy. And a fair little surplus of food, which is also quite nice. I'm just gonna prematurely harvest that last one. Alright, so I would say, have enough to start to set up a new rec room. Although these wooden stools are probably not as comfortable as we can get it. Let's also drop a standing lamp in here. And fix up the last door. So these doors can be just kept open, the ones that don't face outside. Like this one. And that way we can travel. And if you look at the rooms, as you can see, they are separate. Alright, let's get this rec room in order. They were playing Horseshoe. There it is. Horseshoe pin. Get the rest of the flooring, which is, I don't feel like it is asking too much. Alright, he'll do that when he wakes. Oh, fibrous mechanites. Well, as long as the bulk goods people are here, we might as well take a look at what they have to offer. I'm going to sell them some meat, just because we can hunt pretty easily for it. Going to keep my toques. Is that it? There is some leather down here, so let me go and set up a stockpile and try a quick additional trade. There we go. Selling off the leather, that's fine. And we have some random, we'll keep the toque, some random clothing that we can sell. Do they have cloth? Yes, they do. We'll buy 150 cloth. Maybe 100, maybe just 50. Stockpile zone 1. Alright, let's get rid of that now that we've sold stuff. And soon we'll have an orbital beacon, so we'll be able to trade a lot more. That 50 cloth can go towards I don't know, something nice. Being chased. Gonna have to ignore that message. Wally is hypothermic. Let's go ahead and tell him to mostly research. It's only gonna get colder. It's actually pretty cold in the base. So another thing I can do is set up a heater for him. He's wearing the wrong hat. This toque. So let's see, what is his current gear? Good until 55. Now he is good until 43. Yeah, he won't be hypothermic anymore. Just a switch of the toque. Alright, so we have a mini turret, which will be awfully nice. We've got our little rec room. It's mediocre, but hey, it's a humble start. And we're setting up the sort of wall bridge thing. And we're going to want security on both sides. So I might do one more mini plasteel turret. Just feel a little bit safer with that. We're also going to need a mini hospital / research room. That could go probably here. And then this could just be batteries and whatever, you know, sort of the general whatever. For now, I'm going to have the base end up there, but I'm sure it won't stay like that. As we always expand, we're going to need more bedrooms. Of course, we could put another set of bedrooms over there. And this stuff we need to haul back too. So actually, you know what? Next day, we're going to have a bunch of hauling. We're going to do a little haul mission. Try to bring everything back into the base. This is looking pretty good. It's not my most attractive base ever, but I'm rather happy with it. Now, told us they can't build a roof over. Oh yeah, and there's also some need for bridges here. That's marsh there? Suppose it is. Alright, it's looking emptier. Oh, we have another meteorite of just limestone. Not quite as valuable as our plasteel meteorite. I can also start researching bionics. We're going to need a multi-analyzer for that, however, which means we need a high-tech research bench, but that is eventually the path that I want to go, so... Alright, Maker, I'm switching. Oh, an escape pod. Let's see. Character. Tough transhumanist, but you don't do violence. That's a real detriment. They're acting as if everything that needs hauling has been hauled. Yeah, I guess that's somewhat true. So let's reduce the hauling. Kartha back on construction. And Wally back on mining. This is some pretty nasty freezing rain. Oh, it should be snow now. It's below freezing. Probably turn in just a second here. Kartha is setting up the hospital area. We don't quite have our tree sowing research, so I have to manually chop. Which is fine. It's almost cathartic and peaceful to try to find full-grown trees by eye and queue them up. Probably a waste of my time, but whatever. Alright. Maker's now researching. Let me make sure home zone looks to be about right. Actually, what I could do is I can remove this door and run power down and power a door at the end. So it's just one less door to run through. I wonder how difficult it is to go from water to over a sandbag. Probably impedes your ability to climb a fair amount. I'm just trying to think if I have security here, so I needed a little bit longer. A little bit longer bridge. Well, I'll finish what I have now first. Looking good, Mr. Wally. It's a lot of mining. Oh, you're already digging. Let's dig closer first. Maker's pretty happy. Despite sleeping in the cold. I can't say that, I mean, I've been very, very, very productive base-wise, because not much has happened. It's been kind of slow, which is odd. So it looks like I need additional plasteel for that last turret. So I'm going to queue that up. And we can slate auto door all the way down. Which is pretty nice. We haven't really protected this yet. I plan on it. As you can see, the sort of idea here. I think, actually, we're going to need to break this cable and put a bridge in. Which is going to be somewhat time sensitive. So actually, let me do that now while our battery is nice and full. Alright, so let's get wood locally, build that bridge. And then put some regular power down. So now we're connected again. Yep. And that way I'll be able to actually create a wall over it. Once we have the research area, our research speed will go up dramatically. So I think what I'll do is I'll queue up, I'll take over Kartha, queue up some tree cut and then work on building out the bridges and flooring here. In fact, canceling it because I want it sterile, which means I want it silver. It's expensive, but in the end, I find it worth it. And I think we can probably make it a little bit easier if we turn a light on. So there's that. And we probably don't have the components for the last one. So what I'll have to do is I'll have to component hunt. I'll have to mine out compacted machinery, and I don't have the research to be able to manufacture them yet. Luckily, the game is a little forgiving and it allows me to mine them out. It's really, really helpful in a pinch. Have to explore the whole map to find said compacted machinery. Unlike the wildlife tab, there is no minerals tab. I'm not sure if there should be. But before Wally runs, no, before you go to finish this. One more. Alright. And an escape pod that, like, he's a pirate, he's incapable of a lot of stuff, he's tragically ugly, and I just don't care. Whatever happens to him, happens to him. Alright, so, why are we... Oh yeah, the remove roof. Okay, there we go. Let's try to get this bench. Nice. Smooth. Alright, let's reinstall. Destroy the old one. It's going to be a bit of a game changer, honestly. And we are still generating enough power. We're generating 35 more watts than we need. Alright, so this will allow us to research a lot faster. And next up will be a multi-analyzer. Autocannon turret is pretty high up on that list too, if I'm being honest. Alright, so we have tree sowing. Let's go for a multi-analyzer. And I think we're going to need some gold for that, if I recall correctly. It's been a while since I've had to make one of those, but I do recall that gold was on the list of requirements. Alright, so Wally's going after more components. I just have to make sure he hasn't mined out any elsewhere on the map. Doesn't look like he has, which is good. It's not helpful to and then forget about them. Alright, so expensive, but we can't this movable? No, I can only build a copy. So we can only get so sterile here. I didn't plan correctly. Apparently silver tiles are prohibited on bridges. So yeah, that's something good for you guys to know. We have our tree sowing research done. So what I'm going to do now is use Pantheon Guardian's technique. So the way this works is you set up a giant zone. You tell it to, let's do cypress trees, but disallow sowing. And what will happen is, actually let's do maples. I don't know how many cypress trees are in there that are fully grown. Any trees that are ready to harvest, Kartha should immediately start queuing up for to harvest them. Wally seems to require, maybe he's just waking up later. I don't know. Seems like he's requiring less sleep. Oh, you know what it is? Kartha has mechanites, yeah, so he gets tired quicker. I was wondering why it seemed like Kartha was sleeping a lot more. Some flake, just gonna leave it in the ground as is. Looks like we're gonna need some hunting soon. Lucky for us, there's a giant sloth here waiting to be massacred. Also wouldn't hurt to get some tool benches in here. So I'm gonna set some up. Speed us up a little bit. So we are silvering, if I can use that as a adjective, the hospital slash research room as much as we can, and we have another raid. So they're in the west somewhere? Yeah, southwest. Alright, Mr. Wally. I don't want you running there just yet. Let's reinstall this here. Trying to keep them from doing themselves more harm than good. Alright, they're still preparing. Wally, I'm going to have to deprioritize mining for the minute. Ooh, you're running all the way there. Oh, we have turrets. Okay, they're attacking, so let's get in position. I'm curious, research speed. Manipulation, intellectual, speed factor because of room cleanliness. Yeah, it's working. It's not the most amazing increase of speed ever, but it's not nothing. Alright, so here's our new little kill boxy thing. The auto turret. Oh, he's gonna run right through. Oh, nope. Definitely got murdered. And we have an escape pod. Alright. As usual, let's go ahead and try to capture Charles. And are you any good? You're sickly. You're a good miner, but you're sickly. Yeah, I'm gonna leave you out there. It's probably worth grabbing him, but I'm not going to. Having Wally be the meleeer is probably not the wisest idea, as he's a wimp. Maker's kind of equally dumb, as he's naked. And you killed him. Well, what can I do? I tried. Alright, tend to yourselves, and we'll dig another grave. That's totally fine. Oh, the Mega Sloth that we wanted to kill waltzed right into the base. At least the psychic drone ended. That's a bit of a plus. And unfortunately, although I don't feel like much has happened, I am actually up on my hour, guys. So this was a very, very slow summer for this playthrough. We had a few raids, but no real threat. I haven't even been really prioritizing my defenses, mostly because the raids, despite being on Cassandra Classic Extreme, have been kind of not that dangerous, and it's probably because of my pawn count. I don't have a lot of pawns, so it's not throwing me very hard raids. But I digress. That is it for this episode. I hope to catch you all next episode, and as usual, if you have any feedback, just let me know. I love to hear from you. So adios for now, and I will catch you next time.